We also left because, the Sabbath day. I have never been told or taught to keep the Sabbath. The Sabbath day is a day set apart for Yahuwah's people to keep holy. Okay? In Exodus 20:10, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah your Elohim. You do not do any work, you nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heavens and the earth and the sea and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Therefore Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and set it apart. So he's blessed this day and set it apart. He wants you to keep it holy. He says no matter where you dwell, you are to keep this day holy. This is an everlasting covenant. This is something that's everlasting. Wherever you dwell, you are supposed to keep the Sabbath. It was changed during Constantine's time when, they decided to worship on Sunday because it went more with their pagan ways. It went more, this is when we worship our sun god. Hence the day Sunday. That's why they changed it to Sunday as the worship. But our Elohim has said we worship him and we keep this day and we rest on this day, the seventh, not the first, not Sunday, but the seventh day, the Sabbath day. And it's important to him. That's why he set it apart and made it holy. It's an everlasting covenant. It's everlasting. So that's why it's important to our Elohim. Not just to me, but to our Elohim. He has said these things, okay? That's why it's important. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. His instructions are righteous and we are to do his instructions. And that's not really being taught. The Messiah and the disciples, they were teaching from, Paul was teaching from the Old Testament. The Old Testament, which isn't really old, we're looking at the renewed covenant, a renewed covenant, not necessarily new. The Old Testament isn't old, okay? So we have to look at the scriptures and find out what our instructions are. What are our instructions from the Elohim? What are the instructions? And find those out and seek the truth. Okay? So that's the reason. Another thing is the true Israelites. We have a lot of, we cannot fully teach the Bible and teach these scriptures as a whole if we're not speaking on the Israelites. This is a history book based on Hebrew people, the Israelites. You can't preach or teach or discuss the Bible without speaking about the Israelites, because that's important. And the true Israelites, a lot of them are lost. Okay, the Jews that you see today are not the true Israelites, and they will tell you that themselves. They know that they're not the seed of Abraham. The true Israelites, if you read the curses of Deuteronomy and Leviticus, were brought over in slave ships to a land that was not theirs. They were enslaved for 400 years. They will forget who they are. Read the scriptures, people. This is important to know who the true people are, because they're lost. Okay? Our people are lost. So read the scriptures, find out, and it will amaze you. I'm not telling you to just believe everything I'm saying because I'm saying it. I don't want you to blow it off as if it's something because, some crazy chick talking, and what is she talking about? Please do your research. Search the truth. Find out the truth. Find out the true instructions of our Elohim, of Yahuwah. Yahuwah has given us instructions. He's given us days set apart that we do not observe. We do not observe the Sabbath day, but we will ride and die for Christmas and every other pagan holiday that our Elohim has not told us to do. These days are not for our Yahuwah, our Elohim. They're not for Yahusha, our Messiah. They're pagan holidays. They go back from ancient times. They've been going on for ages. Since the Egyptian times. They've been going on for a long time, these old pagan holidays. And they have everything to do with the sun gods, and with their pagan deities. There are other gods and deities that were born on December 25th, not our Messiah. Okay, and that's important because we don't need to just say that, oh, well, we're doing it for this and we're celebrating in our hearts. He knows our hearts. He knows our hearts. He knows we're doing this for him. He also said, don't serve me in the way that the heathen serve their gods. Don't serve me the way they serve their gods. He's given us set apart days. We shouldn't look over those days just so we can celebrate the pagan holidays. Because these days are not set apart. These days have not been deemed holy. He has not told us to celebrate our Messiah Yahushua's birthday. Even though his birthday isn't December 25th, as we've been told, and as Christmas refers to, we have to do the research on these holidays, check the holidays, and see if they're really the instructions of our Elohim. Is it something that we just want to do because we've been used to doing? It's tradition. It's what we've always known. My mother, our parents, our grandparents. It's been passed down from generation to generation. It's what we've always done. Is it something that we just want to do? Or is it the instruction of our Elohim? We have to follow the instructions of him, not our way, because our way leads to death. He knows your heart, yes, and he knows it's corrupted. He knows that we don't always follow the way of him. We follow the way of man. He knows that he's given us set apart days that we look over and we choose to observe the pagan holidays. We have to be diligent in research and find out the truth and find out, are we truly doing the ways of the Elohim, the will of him, or are we falling into pagan man traditions? Because that's exactly what they are. We can't try and make them anything other than what they are. They're not of our Yahushua. They're not of our Messiah. They have nothing to do with him. He says the customs of the way of the heathens are vain. They cut down a tree. They decorate it with silver and gold. That's in Jeremiah. Okay? These things are not of the way of him. And we should seek the truth. Find out. Check these holidays. Check the name. Check out to see if we're really living in his will. Are we really living the way of our Elohim's instructions, of Yahuwah's instructions? Are we doing that? Or are we doing what we want to do because we have always done this? This is not the first time that our people have been lost in doing things that are been guided into the wrong direction, doing ways of man rather than the ways of Elohim. This isn't the first time. We have to look at what's truly real, what's truly important. Have we been deceived? Have you been deceived? We've all fallen short. I do not want to seem as if I have it all figured out, or as if I know it all, or as if I'm perfect, or I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, because that's not true. I know that people fall short. I know that we have to show ourselves reproved, but we can't just accept things because why not? Because we want to, because we've done it this way. Or we have to realize, are we upset? Are we mad because this is truly something that's okay, or is this something that we want to do and something that we've always done, so there's no need to stop it now? Find out the true importance. Find out the truth. Live in the truth. Love the truth. Don't love the lie. Don't love the traditions of man. Look at yourself and see, am I living the ways of the world? Am I actually living the way of the world, or am I living the way of Elohim? Am I setting myself apart and showing myself reproved? I don't think I have it all figured out. I know I do not have it all figured out. But I do know that there is an adversary out there working to deceive the people of Yahuwah, working to deceive. He's not just out there saying, okay, I want to get everybody who wants to worship me. No, he's a raving lion waiting to see whom he may devour. He's waiting, it's a bigger picture. He's trying his best to get people to be deceived, and it is absolutely working. Because we're ignoring the ways of our Elohim and listening to man and listening and falling into traditions. When he wasn't supposed to be sacrificing that animal, and Samuel came and said, "What are you doing?" Pretty much, you know what I mean? He said, "I'm sacrificing for YAhuah." Well, do you think he cares? Samuel said, "Do you think he cares about sacrifice, or do you think he cares about obedience?" He cares about obedience. He's told us what to do. He's given his instructions, so follow those instructions. He doesn't care about Christmas. Don't be upset if someone's saying they're not going to celebrate Christmas because they want to follow YAhuah as he's told them. Don't get mad if someone says they want to call on his holy name. Call on the Savior's holy name. Live righteously. Don't get upset. And if you're upset, reevaluate why you're really upset. Okay? So that's it. Again, I don't want to, this is not to offend anybody. This is only to speak the truth and to explain my journey and why I've chosen to leave the Christian church. And I hope that I can encourage other people and hopefully, get the message across, because it's important. And I want to tell other people the importance of the truth and the way of our Elohim YAhuah.